Hi guys! As you can see, I'm not wearing any makeup, my nails are not done, and you guys sent me a bunch of questions through Instagram, so I'm going to be doing my makeup and my nails while answering your questions. By the way, feel free to check out the timestamps in the description box if there are any topics you are more curious about. Via._553 asked, how did you and your boyfriend meet? My boyfriend and I, we met when I was an exchange student. That was in 2018, I think. So it's been quite a while since we've met. And funny thing, when I was an exchange student, I was not in Seoul, I was in Busan, and my boyfriend was studying in a city near to Seoul. So we were even kind of long distance when I was in Korea. And then after my exchange year ended, I went back to Switzerland. We were long distance the whole time until I moved to Korea. This is like the briefest summary I can give. D_Mittel0209 asked, how was it at the start of the relationship with your boyfriend? Was it smooth or too many differences? This question is probably based on the fact that we have two different ethnicities. When I met my boyfriend for the first time, my Korean level was actually on a really low level. I was a beginner. It wasn't easy to communicate. So when we met up, we would usually use a mix of English and Korean. We would try to meet each other halfway with the languages, and we used a lot of Papago. If you don't know, Papago is the translator you use in Korea. It's the alternative to Google Translate. And when we were talking about more difficult topics, we would just write our sentences on Papago and then read it to each other. It was a whole mess, but then as time went by, suddenly I found myself fluent in Korean, and we just gradually started not needing to use Papago anymore. Right now we are mainly talking in Korean, so that's my advantage. I was able to improve a lot in Korean. Kitty.Sika asked, is it difficult to communicate deeper thoughts with your boyfriend because of the language difference? Yes, I think it is. Even though I consider myself fluent in Korean, I think talking about deep topics is another thing. Explaining your emotions, for example, is already difficult in your native language. It's just difficult to put thoughts and emotions into words. When I'm trying to explain things that I'm feeling in Korean, it can be quite difficult. Sometimes I mean something, but then I say it in a way that might end up sounding passive-aggressive, but that wasn't my intention, you know? Okay, I have no idea how to pronounce this word, but sometimes there are nuance differences in what I'm trying to say and what I end up saying, but we are aware that we both have a different native language, so we understand if there was a misunderstanding, we find a middle ground really fast. There have been occasions where I wrote him a letter in English because the things I wanted to say were just too complicated and too nuanced. And that also helped me. The weird thing is, once I got to a good Korean level, I started forbidding myself to use any English, and I think that made communicating more difficult. I was thinking, if I use English whenever I'm having a hard time using Korean, then I'm not gonna improve my Korean skills. But that way of thinking led me to not sharing some of my thoughts that surpassed my Korean level. After I overcame this unnecessary wall that I built myself and allowed myself to use English, it led to way better communication. Just like that letter I wrote in English. So while I think it's effective to try to communicate in that one language you're learning as much as possible, I don't think you need to limit yourself to that language. Zineb.zzn asks, do you get jealous easily? I used to think that I'm not a jealous person, but then I realized that that's not the case at all. It's just that my boyfriend doesn't give me any reason to get jealous. There's this filter on TikTok, okay? The filter is you rank how mad you would get if your boyfriend did these specific things with a female friend, and I wanted to put all of them on rank 1. I just hated all of them, and I think most people thought that my boundaries are very tight. No, I don't get jealous easily. I think I feel disrespected easily. If my boyfriend would cross my boundaries, I think I would feel disrespected rather than jealous. Let's say he meets a female friend. If he would cross any of my boundaries, I wouldn't feel jealous and be scared that he's gonna run off with that other girl. I would just feel disrespected for him crossing whatever boundary it was. But luckily, he never does that. Moving on to Ra_L_04 is asking, any dating advice you would give to people who are in an international relationship? International relationships can be very difficult depending on whether you guys are speaking the same language fluently or whether someone has to put in a lot of work to learn the other person's language. So it's hard to give one big piece of advice that will work for everyone, but I think if you are in an international relationship and there's a language barrier and cultural differences, you definitely need a lot of communication and both sides need to be open to communicate and you guys need to learn each other's languages. If one of you learns the other person's language faster, that will definitely help you. The thing is, I think most pieces of advice I would give for an international relationship, I would also just give them for any type of relationship. Just communicating and trusting each other, that's all you need. The next question is from Aziz. Aziz is saying, this is an important question. Why are you so damn cute? Oh. Not right now. Yay Me is asking go-to snacks. Right now I'm obsessed with this melon ice cream. It's not the standard melon ice cream that's super popular in Korea. It's an alternative of that, although it looks almost the same. I think the brand is Lala Sweet. Look, I'm trying to distance myself from eating too many snacks. It's hard, but I think that's why I'm having a hard time to recall all of them. Okay, let's just get to the point. Lala Sweet melon ice cream. I eat 5 of that a day. I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to take lactose medicine almost every day because of my current obsession with the ice cream. Hootsel3NA is asking, who's your favorite artist? A few people also asked like if I'm standing any K-pop groups. So let me just talk about the K-pop groups I listen to right now. Usually I just turn on the K-pop playlist on Spotify. It's one that adds the new songs that come out automatically, I think. So usually if I like a song, I'll just put it in my liked playlist on Spotify. As for specific groups, I think I really enjoy New Jeans, and recently I also started getting into Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye is that group with the members from different countries, and they had this documentary on Netflix come out, which I'm watching right now. As I'm starting to like Cat's Eye, I realized how good HYBE is at marketing because they planned this all out, okay? They planned posting these random videos of them, I think last year on TikTok, and everybody was confused who they are, what this survival show is, why the survival show is only on TikTok, and everybody was confused but interested. And then they brought out their first songs. Suddenly the documentary comes out, and I don't know, I feel like they're just geniuses when it comes to marketing. Another artist I really like is Hyogo. Well, Hyogo is a band with a singer Oh. I really like their songs. I also like Cardi Garden and The Black Skirts. I also really like Sesonyeon. Those are all I remember right now. Hazel.Tas is asking, do you speak Turkish? I'm very curious about it. Yes, I do, but I'm shy about it. The reason why I'm shy about it is because every time I publicly speak Turkish, people start to point out my dialect. My parents come from the countryside, so when I speak Turkish, it sounds like a mixture of someone who obviously grew up in a German-speaking country and someone who comes from the countryside. I guess it's a funny mix, but that's what kind of made me shy about speaking Turkish in front of other Turks who grew up in Turkey. I think I don't feel shy speaking Turkish if the person I'm speaking to also didn't grow up in Turkey, unless they speak Turkish better than me. Maybe I should say something in Turkish to prove my point. But now I have to decide if I'm going to fake an Istanbul dialect, which you will notice it's faked, or if I should just own my countryside dialect. Merhaba, evet Türkçe konuşuyorum. It's a rap. Safa.xk is asking, what's your favorite show? I used to watch a lot of anime shows. I haven't really watched any anime shows recently, I think. I used to be obsessed with them until I started realizing that every anime that I really like has to have something weird in it. Some of those like anime classics that are super popular, you wanna recommend them to your friend or your family, and then you realize, oh no, there's like this one weird character that's like in love with his sister or something. Why are they doing that? But some of my favorites are Naruto and Attack on Titan, Death Note, Terror in Resonance, and many more. As for shows that are not anime, I'm currently watching Friends and I'm really enjoying Friends so far. I've actually watched a lot of shows on Netflix. I can't like quite point out a favorite. I also used to watch a lot of Nickelodeon shows like Victorious and iCarly, Zoe 101. One show that I will always reference and be super sad if you don't get the reference is SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob is just hilarious. I make a SpongeBob reference at least once a day. Mariam_Mirza is asking, what's your height and weight? I'm gonna share my height, somewhere between 172 and 173. My little sister says I'm lying whenever I say 173 because she is 173 and apparently I'm shorter than her. So I guess I'm like 172 if I have to be honest. As for weight, my weight always fluctuates, so I cannot really say a number. Leah Hart 57 is asking, how was your personality as a kid? I was a really nice kid. By the way, I really like this question. I think I was a very, very nice kid. I never got into any trouble. I was a good student. I would always get good grades. But the funny thing is, sometimes I would do really crazy things, but nobody would know that it was me because everybody thought I was this super nice kid. Should I talk about this? There's this thing, I think I told my sisters recently that it was me who did it. When we were younger, there was this place we would always go to on the weekends, and I hated being there. It was a space kind of like a community center with a lot of kids, but most of the kids were mean and nasty and they didn't really like me or my sisters. We were the outsiders, I guess, but we still had to go there every weekend. And me, the kid who looks super innocent, I had a lot of built-up anger after going to this place where nobody likes me for so many times. I had no idea how to express that to anyone. I didn't feel comfortable expressing it to anyone. So one day I went to there was this room in the community center where they were storing these tables and chairs for events or gatherings they would do there sometimes. They were stacked on top of each other. I went in there, mad about being in this place for way too often, and I started pushing the tables off of each other and pushing the chairs. Okay, I didn't just push the stuff, I just threw it everywhere, so the whole room was a mess. I didn't break anything. Tables and chairs, they're heavy. It's gonna be tough for whoever is going to clean up the mess. I guess I just used it as an anger room. After I let out all that frustration, I went outside again, closed the door, and went back to my sisters. We did our thing. And then suddenly the person who's in charge of taking care of all the kids came running towards us and was like, oh my god, what happened? Someone smashed our storage room. Everything is just laying around and all the tables it's a mess. Nobody knew what happened. Everyone was like, what? Who would do that? That's crazy. She was like, did you see anything? I was like, no, that's crazy. And nobody ever suspected that it would be me. It was just this huge scandal. Obviously someone did it on purpose, but everyone seemed like nice kids, especially I seemed like a nice kid. It was this mystery for over 20 years. I think last year I told my sisters for the first time that it was me, and we had a really good laugh about that. Mimi here is asking, please tell us something about your diet. I have a really big sweet tooth, and if I buy something really unhealthy, I tend to binge eat it. I cannot stop until it's fully gone. I don't know, moderation. Right now I'm trying not to buy too many like sweets, because if I binge eat, I get really bloated and then it hurts. So what I'm trying to do right now is just get in as many vitamins as I can. Fruit and veggies tend to be quite expensive. Although I am eating my meals, I'm not really getting many vitamins in because let's say if I'm lazy and only eat ramyeon, I'm gonna be full, but I'm not gonna have any vitamins or nutritions for my body. I also eat a lot of nuts, almonds and hazelnuts. I love cereal in the morning, yogurt. Just trying to eat clean, I guess, because when I eat clean, I do feel the best. Right now, I am trying to stop ordering from Lotteria. Lotteria is the burger franchise of Lotte. Let me show you because you're not gonna believe me. My past orders, literally every day, I'm ordering fries and chicken nuggets. I'm struggling over here. Oh no, this is not healthy, okay? The goal is to eat clean. Gada Babe 201 asked, what's your favorite perfume? My favorite perfume is Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I use it all the time. I bought it on discount at Olive Young. I think it was like 50% off. Just smelled really good. I might try to buy another fragrance once I finish this perfume up, but I can really recommend it. I think her perfume smells super good. Okay guys, that's it with this Q&A. As you can see, I'm not finished with my makeup yet. I'm going to upload another Q&A next week where I'm also finishing my eye makeup and lip makeup. So if your question hasn't been answered in this video, it might be in the next video because in the next video, I'm going to touch on things related to my job in Korea and how I came to Korea, language stuff. And today was a bit more personal, I guess, like relationship and random things. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in again next week. Bye bye!